Shamina Rajab, an all-round creative, is a managing director at Black Rhino VR. She has managed a music and art studio and is a professional model. Shamina's mission is to empower artists and creatives across the arts, with her focus currently on music, events, and XR technology. She aims to guide them in harnessing their talent within a structured business framework, creating tangible value and opportunities for their growth. Dedicated to fostering a vibrant community within Nairobi's creative cultural industries, Shamina is committed to sustainable growth. She has also evolved into the curator role, with the founding and day-to-day running and managing of The Mist, an underground music and performance space in Nairobi, giving experiential artists a place to call home. And this is her story. Shamina Rajab.
Yes.
Let me just start by saying that I love that name.
Thank you.
It's very, very beautiful.
Shout out to my mom. Good job.
I'm sure I'm not the only person who's told you that.
Yeah, it's when I grew old, I researched it because I was like, oh, you have such a nice name. I'm like,
yeah.
But it's an Indian name. Yeah. This is what I read, so I don't know.
And I have to confess.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were Indian before you met me.
Before you met me,
yes.
So it means flower. I'm not sure, but that's what I read online.
Okay.
You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Where did you grow up and go to school?
I grew up in Kilimani. Actually, I come from a single parent home. So with my mom, my father passed on earlier on in my life, around 3.5. So it's just been her and my two brothers. So grew up in, what I can remember is grew up in Kilimani, went to school in Riara, primary school, Riara Road. Then in high school, I went to Precious Blood, did a stint there for 2 terms.
2 terms only?
Yes.
What happened?
Precious, I don't want to say, but it was tough. It was tough. Not tough, but I think, it's some people are just built for it and some people are not built for it. I don't know how other way to say it. It was just getting to a point that I also got really sick because of showering with cold water, all that stuff in the morning, early in the morning. My duty, because I was in Form 1, was cleaning the dorm bathroom. So you're touching cold water.
Yes.
So I got sick and I was like, Mom, I can't go back. I can't go back.
Yeah.
And I went to Aga Khan Academy. So that's where I finished my high school.
Okay.
So it was an interesting transition from a Kenyan school to doing the British curriculum.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have had it any different.
Yeah. And college?
I went to Daystar University, graduated with a Bachelor in Arts in Communication, specifically Public Relations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you refer to yourself as an all-round creative. Define that. And maybe as you answer that, explain why it's important to get support, especially as you're trying to mold that and bring that out.
So when I say I'm all-round creative, I think I'm just trying to elaborate that I don't have a craft. I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I love music. I'm into music, but it's not like I'm into engineering or producing or anything, or I'm a singer.
Yeah.
Even in the theater, I did drama in high school. Actually, I did that for my IGC, my exams, my high school exams. Okay. So I've always been into the arts, and being creative. And I also think being creative in whatever you're doing, if you're stuck somewhere and you have a problem, it's like, let me get creative and figure out how to get out of it. So I think it touches on both what I'm interested in, what I do now is work with creatives, which is something that I have now grown to know that I love to do.
But you are a model?
Yes.
You run an underground entertainment studio?
Yes, The Mist.
Yes.
The space, yes. Okay. Yes, The Mist. So there's The Mist. I also model, and then I started modeling. Okay, I've been hustling since I was really young, So I used to teach in the estate and get paid for it, by the way.
Okay.
I used to teach. I used to be interested in teaching.
Yeah.
So I think passing on knowledge, learning has been a thing for me.
Teaching what exactly?
I used to tutor kids.
Oh, really?
I was used to tutor the younger girls in the estate. And two of the parents recognized, and they were like, she's actually really passing. And they came and they gave me 2,000. I think I bought the whole estate snacks. I was that guy. I was balling, yeah. So and then I got into modeling. modeling in this country is not the easiest. To be a professional model, being paid for gigs, getting regular gigs, being booked regularly.
Yes.
It's not easy. So, and I'm a bit shorter, so I just stepped out.
Yeah.
And then university doing communications, because I started wanting to do finance. Then I wanted to do hotel management.
Interesting.
And then I'm like, okay, no, I think I like to talk to people. I think I like people. So what can I do that's people? Then I just did my own research and found public relations, communication. I'm like, oh, communication.
You're talking to people, yes.
So that's how I ended up there.
Okay. So what did you do before Black Rhino? Because I'm trying to...
Okay, so I was modeling.
Okay.
And then I did, because now I graduated from Daystar University, and then I did 2 or 3 attachments, internships at a PR company.
Yeah.
And then I started this sort of, my friend started this entertainment like collective.
All right.
So we had this nice office, very young people, with very little direction, but
big ideas.
Big ideas and big dreams, you know. So we had like a studio. We had, a photo studio as well, because one of my friends were photographers. One of them was a producer.
Okay.
And then we had like this office where we used to do ideas and figure out projects to do. So I used to be like the project manager.
Yes.
So I'm like, I like to put teams together. I like to help an artist understand what they need to do outside their craft, because they're already good at that.
Yes.
But how do you manage your environment around you? So that's how now I call myself an all-round creative, because I love to work with creatives. I love being in creative spaces. I love to understand what they think, what they're thinking. And I can say, yes, I'm also a creative.
Yourself, yes. So through that particular journey, you find yourself here as a young...
So after the PR company, sorry about that. After the PR companies, I met a friend of mine who I went to high school with, and he was like, oh, you're looking for a place to just do another internship.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll come. We do some things in tech. It's something maybe you wouldn't understand, but it's a small company. Just come and see.
Yeah.
And I walked into Black Rhino VR.
Yes.
And I haven't left since.
What year was that?
That was in 2019.
Okay.
2019. So I've been there about 5-6 years now.
Right. But not in the capacity that you're at right now.
Not the capacity I'm at right now. Yes. I came in now because there was a small unit, you know. My friend of mine was running the 360 video department, the VR department. Brian was running it, Brian Afande. And, you know, we were, I think, 4 or 5 of us. Yeah. There was a project manager, Kanze. You know, they became my family anyway. So we started in the office, you know, just getting jobs here and there. Yeah. I was also trying to find my footing because we were not as busy. So I was like, how do I create value for Black Rhino VR with my communication background, right? What do they need from me? Yeah. You know, not knowing also what I'm doing, you know.
Learning in the job.
Yeah, let me review the website, let me do this. So just working with Brian, he really held my hand through that because he has a marketing background. So he held my hand through that. And yes.
Here you are.
Yeah, doing communications until August last year when I got the promotion to be managing director.
Congratulations.
Yes.
So now here you are leading an amazing African team of African creative technologists.
Yes.
Technologists.
Yes.
Did you ever think that you'd be here? No.
Also, when I went in for the internship at Black Rhino, I thought I was going to be there for 3 months. Yes. And then the idea was to work in a PR firm and be the lead, you know, PR person there. Yes. But I really fell in love with the technology. And I think also the way Black Rhino was using the technology to empower young people was pretty cool. It was a young team who was so cool and so good at what they do. Yeah. I mean, these guys are geniuses, you know, Steve, Longi, you know. Like,
I have to say that I have a lot of respect and admiration for the team, by the way.
Yes, I mean, we were, you know, Issa, Charlie, I just used to be in awe of them. So I just used to learn slowly with them, you know, just watch them, ask them questions. Yes. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. And I was able to understand workflows. So what I'm good at Black Rhino is also I'm client facing alongside Brian and Abraham, who's the CEO, where we now are able to break down a brief from a client, see how we can leverage extended reality technology to solve the issue or the need they have, right? So it was just understanding from each department. And I think with time, I was able to now be the bridge between client, the team, and the company. And I think Brian, so for me to lead the team. And I'm honored to be working with such amazing guys, you know. Yeah. They are incredible. They're so talented.
No, for sure. I know a couple of them, and for sure.
Yeah, great team of, we're 17 now, so it's quite awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were some of the challenges that you faced at the initial stages?
of being
a managing director.
I was like, are we sure we want to do this? Maybe we can just continue with comms.
Yeah.
But I was ready to take the challenge
Okay.
on, honestly. Again, I love putting together teams, seeing how they can have a seamless flow to create a very incredible output that everybody's happy for. But at the same time, you're gaining something,
Yes,
you're learning
out of
something
it.
from each other.
Yeah.
You are failing, but learning from those mistakes, that type of thing, just making sure that I'm creating that environment for people. And I started also being a producer for the 360 films we used to do for our clients. Okay, maybe I should explain.
Yes, please do.
Okay,
we have time.
What Black Rhino VR, the company is. Black Rhino VR is an extended reality technology company founded by Brian Afande, as I mentioned, in 2015. We specialize in augmented reality and virtual reality solutions.
Yeah.
Right? We have a very unique model, and that's where we're going now with our direction, is that 60% is commercial, 40% is outreach. Community, ecosystem building, working with the people like you, Anne, to see how we can help creatives empower themselves and grow using this technology. It's a tool for people to use to economically empower themselves, right?
Yeah.
So through that journey also, so the commercial projects are going, but sometimes they're very haphazard. Here and there, it's very hard selling extended reality technology.
Yes, in Africa,
in Kenya, in Africa.
Yes,
it's not an easy task. So shout out to everyone else who's doing it. But so we are now moving towards, okay, how do we moving away from the ad hoc business and into, okay, what is our stamp? What are we creating? We've been dibbing and dabbing this technology as a company for 7 years.
Yes.
What's our contribution to the industry as African creative technologists, right? So we are launching platforms now. We have media, we have marketplace that is coming out. We have our outreach programs that we are continuing. We're just seeing is like, how do we plant that seed that we can now pass it on to everybody? Because now we've seen what this technology can do, and we now want to spread it, be the agents of change, accelerating the adoption of immersive technology.
Let's talk about media, because it's a game changer, if you ask me. Yes. Maybe expand on it a bit more, and what opportunities that there are for creatives in its use, not just in Africa, but globally, if you say.
Okay. Now, media is a subsidiary of Black Rhino VR. Right. It is a user-friendly, no-code, augmented reality platform. Yeah. Augmented reality is when you add a digital layer to something that's already existing, or deploy 3D digital in your space. You've seen how you can scan your space and something appears through your mobile phone or tablet. That's augmented reality technology. So we've built a platform. The team has built a platform, no code. You don't need any code. So you and I can use it
with no background.
I can use it for missed posters. What if you can scan the poster and one of the artists who's there that night can be like, hey, come through. It adds more engagement. People are looking for more when it comes to the content you have on your phone.
For sure.
So that's the platform that it's a no-code, user-friendly augmented reality cloud editor. So through the PC you can build, and a publishing platform. We have an app that's actually available on the App Store and the Play Store. The cloud editor is live, media.com. You can go in and test it out. But the special thing about it is that it has a financial inclusive model. Okay. What that means is that we are trying to create a digital ecosystem where creatives and brands can work together and exist in this ecosystem. What that means is, for example, Anne is a graphic designer. She does posters for Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola will come and say, okay, Anne has convinced Coca-Cola that I think you guys should do a AR campaign with the assets that you guys are distributing. Okay, so what you'll do is Coca-Cola will come to media, buy views, because we have a cost per view model. Okay, so you buy views. Now, if Coca-Cola buys 1 million views, Anne will benefit as the creator on that project.
That's awesome.
Okay, and get a certain percentage to you every time views are bought for that specific campaign.
Awesome.
So what we saw was that usually creatives are left out of the value chain.
Yes, most of the times, yes.
you do really cool stuff, really cool, and people go ahead and make millions of shillings, and the creative
over
is left.
time, and you've only been paid once.
Think about actors.
Yeah,
you've been seeing that
same
with
thing
actors
in
in
film.
Kenya,
It's
with
true.
film.
True.
You know, so the creative industry has that thing of where they are the center. The creatives are the center. Their art
Yeah.
is everything, because without it we wouldn't have an industry.
Very true. Yet.
You know?
Yeah.
Right? So we're usually left out of the value chain, and we said, okay, how do we make sure you're always included?
Yeah.
So every time you buy 1 million views, you get a percentage.
That's awesome.
So it's a financial inclusive model through that cost per view model we have for buying views.
Yeah.
But any creator can go in. You have free views for 100 views per month. You can test out content, sell the AR campaign, sell the idea and the content to the people you're working with.
Yeah.
And then if they want to do a large campaign, come in and buy views through media.
That's awesome.
And we can distribute. The good thing also about media, actually, the third thing is that it has analytics, it has data.
So now you can actually pull that. As
creatives, sometimes we move.
Yes.
Creative technologists are coming and deciding, okay, guys, we need data. We need to realize that how you move needs to be driven by some sort of statistics. Yes. Okay, so you're not driving blind, right? So at the back, you can get how much time people spent on it. What if you have a menu of different content? Or people prefer the content around the content around what the DJ is about,
and it actually does help you refine and get
your engagement, your interaction. So okay, so you put some content on your post and you're like, oh, people really don't care about that type of information. Okay, so let me just add let me put more of this content that people are engaging with. Also, it's just the demand as a user. You're on your phone scrolling, but people are going to want more. Very true. We're moving towards a very immersive digital world right now.
Yes. And I love that you're mentioning that, because for you as Shamina and as Black Rhino, what burdens have you put upon yourselves to ensure that there's more Africans are actually getting to use immersive technologies?
Wow, burden. It's very it can be heavy, this thing that we decided to do.
Yes.
We have a space like this, the one we're sitting in right now. It's Out Reality as Black Rhino. Out Reality, it's an XR lab and an exhibition space, digital exhibition space. So digital artists are coming up with work, and we usually just get these inquiries. Like, they rarely are able to find galleries that can showcase digital work.
True. Very true.
Fabricating the walls, really, we have that technology here. We have the VR headsets, we have the tablets, the projectors, etc.
Yeah.
So a space like this was created, sometimes it doesn't make sense financially, the finance department are always looking at me like, you need to make it happen,
But you're driven by the vision.
But, I know why this space is needed. There are people who need this space, we have artists who come in free of charge. You just have to email Black Rhino and, set an appointment so that there's someone here with you.
Yeah.
If you want to engage the team, we can also see how their schedules are, and they can, do a session with you.
Yeah.
So that's, again, free of charge. Yes. So that's the burden we've put, Black Rhino has done. But there's so many other things we do, experientials. We go out to schools. We're having continuous meetings with teachers from, different institutions, just to see how, from tertiary to how the young kids can use it for education, scanning. And
it is the future. We need to
I saw the digestive system come to life
when you were younger.
I think maybe I would have enjoyed science in action.
And not dropped it off much earlier.
So I'm like, you see, this cool stuff that can help the retention and engagement for kids, for their education.
Yes.
So, partnering with Naiccon to set up experiential so that we can show artists how they can take their work a level higher. They can use this as a complement to what they're doing.
Yeah.
As Shamina, myself, I have this, my baby, the Mist. We are different, but different where we are giving opportunities to this community of music artists who exist, but don't have a large stage to access an audience.
Is there a particular genre that you're working with?
No, we cut across.
It's open.
Yes, you'll come one day, there'll be, house and techno. You'll come the other day, will be hip hop. You'll come the other day, we'll have experimental sounds. And, sometimes I'm even like, okay, who are we booked today? Very interesting installations, sound and soundscapes. So it cuts across, it's a music art space, and I feel like that's also my way of contributing to young people. I work with artists individually. where I help them project manage some of the small work they do, some of the grants they work on.
Yeah.
For me, that's just my own way of
giving back.
And yeah, I'm just saying, I'm like, I helped that, I'm happy to help that person, get to help that person get to the next level,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you've spoken about media, but I'm sure Black Rhino has come up with some more amazing innovations over the years. Looking back, which one is the most memorable one that you'd actually want to highlight?
From media? From Black Rhino, yes. Media, of course. Okay. Yeah. Because this is something we sat a few years back and we were like, wow, I wish we could build our own AR app because we pay for these services, to offer more services to our clients.
Yeah.
So we were like, when we got the opportunity for Ignite Culture through with the Heva Fund and British Council, and we got this opportunity to build this app, we were so happy.
Yes.
And we were like, okay, this is our opportunity, to build it. So I would say that. And also we have this technology that we are exploring, which is called real-time 3D.
Okay.
So we bring avatars to life. So we actually built, Safaricom have their chatbot.
Yes.
So we brought their chatbot to life as Black Rhino.
Okay.
So it started off with me. So I was the initial avatar. So I think my best yes, I have pictures. I'll actually show you. So yes, I have a 3D avatar.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. There's a lot that you're currently doing. How do you balance it all?
I don't balance it, Anne.
All right. You just move with the wave.
No. We have to balance. I remember even because I take on very many small things. So aside from Black Rhino, I have my own business that I run, Miss. I work with different artists who I help manage in their project. So there are a lot of people that I am committed to. And how do I balance is a Google Calendar.
Okay.
Okay, Google Calendar is your friend.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do with Google Calendar, but that, and also having my therapeutic artistic expression. So like I now not model for fun, but I now model for fun. I don't model for money. Yeah. So my friends are great artists, great photographers, great stylists. So I link up with them and we do a passion project together.
Yeah.
And I really, invest my time and, some money in it. So those are the things that just keep me sane.
Yes.
Sane. Because there was a time when I felt like I couldn't handle it all, but we can do everything under the sun unless we put our head to it.
Yeah.
So it's just organized, but also balancing out with spending time with my family, spending time with my partner. I enjoy working out. So working out gives me the right endorphins to tackle the day positively.
Yeah.
So just making sure I'm doing all the small things that make me happy. Go for ice cream randomly.
Yeah, just
in the night.
Smile.
In the middle of the night, this just make. But my work is, I'm a workaholic when it comes to, I think, with my work.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm trying to find the positive way of
balance
it all. Yeah. Yes. Because I enjoy working, and sometimes for me, work is play.
Very important. Yes. So as a leader, as a managing director, you have a team that you're currently leading. Are there particular traits or habits that you'd actually say that this have actually contributed to my success? Or to the success of the team?
Yeah, I think also these traits I didn't know were leadership traits, right. At that time, but I'm good at also creating an environment where people can thrive. Or I pride myself to do that as much as I can. So I think me always stepping in those moments I know when someone needs something, or, I will be quick to organize something without even knowing that the team needs it. Just those things, the small things that really bring everything together.
Yeah.
I think I now realize that was me being a leader. It was me helping direct things. And when I got the role, I didn't really feel that I was a managing director. And then the things start happening.
Okay. Right.
In the office, and I'm like, and I'm being looked at like,
Yeah.
So I think that's when now I'm like, okay, I took on, and I really try to be laissez-faire with the way I do my leadership. I can be tough, but like I also speak to you as a person. I think that's also how I was raised. My mom was never, she was like, do you understand what you did? It was more like, and then you sit down and you're like, okay,
think about what you've
done. Yeah, why did I do
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
So I think I passed that on with the way I lead the team. Yeah, I'm just taking it day by day, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm honored by the role. And I can see I have a team that looks at me and believes in me, and I'm just taking it day by day. And I think that thing of just setting the right tone and environment for people to work, build something solid, and think and create.
Yeah, and I love that you're talking about a team that's looking at you and looking at they can actually do it. What opportunities do you see for not just Black Rhino, but for tech space in Africa in the next possibly 10 to 15 years that might not have been explored or need a bit more keen interest in the space?
No, I mean, the Africa tech scene is about to, it's growing, especially as in Kenya, Nairobi being, the Silicon Savannah. We just had the Africa Tech Summit, and there was there's this growth of fintech companies, African fintech companies. There's so much investment in startups.
Yeah, very true.
There's a lot of investors from the global north coming to invest here. Also because of the ripeness of, I think Africa is blooming, if we're managed properly. Yeah, and I think also just innovators, with what we're doing in media, we're taking a chance. I think Africans want to be now part of the conversation in terms of we are creating our own tech.
Yes.
We're not just consumers of technology anymore. We're not just, what do you guys have? Okay, so I'll release that.
Yes.
We're like, no, what do we need to build? You see there are tech hubs coming up in Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa. You can see also it growing outside, like specifically talk about Kenya.
Yes.
You can see it growing outside.
Everywhere. Yes.
Outside Nairobi. You don't have to be in Nairobi to be part of the tech conversation anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's looking up, even the conversations around artificial intelligence now and machine learning, everybody's talking to AI, everyone's coming to us, XR guy, VR, AR guys are like, oh, do you guys do AI? We're like, no, we're still here doing extended reality technology, But, I think there's a lot brewing and brewing in a good way. And I just want people to take a risk with themselves, take a chance, just see how you can seize a small opportunity because there's space for everybody, and just take charge of how you can. If you're sitting in your home and you're creating something, I would say, first of all, I would encourage you guys to get a team, even if it's 2 people, if you have one other person, don't work by yourself, and I think for me, that's what I've been preaching to artists.
Why is it important?
Why is it important? Because you can't do everything yourself. Okay, you can. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible.
But you're not going to be as effective.
You're not going to be as effective. And I think for me, even in a company needs the legal team. It needs finance. It needs the creative team. It needs the people looking for business. So you can't do it by yourself. There's people that bring in, and human beings also are good at. There are certain things that you're just
very good at, yes.
And I see this a lot with creatives. We're young and we're like, let's just do it by ourselves. But if you look at artists like Sauti Sol, they took chance and took management. And you also have this credibility. You have someone who is checking for things that you wouldn't do. And then I always tell artists, then you can go and be the greatest animator you want to be because Shamina is worrying about putting out fires for you. Of course, you're learning because I need to teach you how to run your business. You need to know what's going on, what is tax, what is this, how do you do strategy, all that stuff. But if you have someone helping you, it's important because now you grow, you go further.
It's true.
You have more time to take on more things. There's strength in numbers,
Yeah. And I love that you're speaking about music and tech here.
Yes.
For music, I have no issue with because we consume and appreciate a lot of
music.
We have created. Is it the same with technology?
Yeah, I think people, the community is embracing each other. So I think this is my take. Artists have started by artists are supporting artists.
Okay.
So if an artist is doing a digital show or a photography show or a music show, other musicians will come and support. Then you can see now what that happens is it's growing slowly, and then my friends of the musicians and the friends of the friends will now enjoy what they've come to do. And then slowly, I'm just talking from my little world of being in the basement here at the mall, you know, with the spaces, being a creative technologist in Kenya, selling immersive technology and working with immersive technology. It's just like, it'll just be like a butterfly, what is it called? Like a, you know, it's lost my mind, but you know, like an effect where I just get Anne will get 3 other people like that, you know, and then soon we'll just be like, oh, and then, you know, once you have these early adopters, everyone will be like, oh, look at what these guys, oh, okay. Then now the mass come in, you know?
Yes.
And I was just saying, if we started with the kabambe, and everyone bought smartphones.
Yes, they did.
Now people are buying very expensive iPhones.
Yes.
A VR headset is not a far-fetched thing to invest in.
Not at all.
You know, for you to be transported to another virtual environment. It's not. So I think it's just that, you know, just moving, and like with time, you know, hopefully, you know, people are just going to buy in, and we're all going to be moving together. So you can see now that there's a lot of support for creatives or creative technology work. A lot of people support even with the work that we do at Black Rhino.
It is the future.
Yes, and then now everybody's saying that now, and everybody's like, it's the future. Okay, we have to talk to you guys because it's the future. We're like, yes, we've been in the future
for a long while.
No, but it's nice also for, you know, that's also a plus for us.
Yeah.
But you see, I want to also challenge people to be like, yes, it is the future, but what is that thing for you in your specific realm of life that it is the future for you? I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, if I am a teacher and tech is the future, okay, think, what am I going to use tech for to help improve the environment of my classroom, or help the child that is struggling with math? Or, you know, as an artist, I've done all these animations, but there's something I want to immerse people in. Am I going to build a whole animated VR world with sounds and people talking, and you can interact, you know, so that people can really understand what I'm trying to do? So it's just those skills of things, you know.
Looking at both spaces, both music and Black Rhino, the tech space, where do you want to take the teams in the next 5 to 10 years?
And that's a very hard question. I don't know where I want to take Shamina in the next 5 years. I think it is taking off in the next 5 years. Let me say next 5 years. You know, I want to see media, when it comes to the Black Rhino side, just media really taking off and having creators on the platform creating and earning from their art, but also having the organization, the brands coming in and buying into the technology and seeing how they need it to access their audience, because their audience are going to demand for more in terms of the way they consume information. So I see media taking off, you know, us having, you know, at least 1 million users, you know.
It is possible.
I would like to see media go to a place where we are training people outside Nairobi, in areas that, you know, are sort of underserved.
Where are you currently at in terms of trainings? Are you just training to the Nairobi?
You know, we just launched end of last year. So now we're just fine tuning, and then we're actually working on our launch campaign for marketing, so that we can now officially go out into the market. We're collecting feedback here and there. We've exposed it to our community of artists that we've worked with, a community of organizations that we've worked with to try it out. I'm also telling you now today, but we're going to go into train the trainer programs. We're building an augmented reality curriculum that will be embedded on the platform, so that Anne can go in and teach herself AR literacy skills.
Nice. That's good.
So it's passing on knowledge, you know, it's knowledge transfer. You know, I want to be able to see that I'm a lawyer. You know, actually, that's what I would like to see, like a lawyer having an AR proposal, you know, instead of people reading their 30-page document, maybe at the end of it all, there can be like a survey where people are collecting data, and you have this nice audiovisual content for people to consume. So, yes, I want to see, I'd like to see that. For Mist, I see Mist just being, it's like, you know, we're so mysterious. We don't even know. We have the space, but the Mist is an entity on its own. You know, it's a community of very nice, dope residents who play really cool music, run by my business partner. And then I have another business partner who are also creatives in their own right, but businessmen as well. again, the only girl in the squad.
All right.
But yeah, taking the mist to the world, because I want to see these artists perform all over. I want us to do workshops to train people to be sound engineers and producers. I want it to be a place for people to commune and be safe and talk and do and make this physical space, make it whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
But anytime you interact with Miss, you're going to we want you to open your mind to what music and what sound can be.
Yeah. How important is support? Collaborations and partnerships. What roles do they play in taking it to the next level?
For me, I feel like collaborations is what we have right now. If I just think about how we work across organizations, if we didn't have that spirit of collaboration and partnership, I don't think some of the, I don't think we'd have some of the great events and experiences and workshops and moments, networking moments where people are meeting, and out of that, work is being created, more work is being created.
Yes.
We are living off collaboration, but I think support is important, as creative. How do we create a sustainable industry that makes sense for all people in the value chain, and not only one part of the value chain is receiving the amount of the revenue, the much share of revenue. Artists are really doing great stuff, and they deserve to be valued. Is it collecting data around artists and what they're doing, and what is it also educating audiences on, like, this is how much it takes to create an art piece. So when you're charged X, Y, and Z by an artist, understand why. And invest, and also when someone is able to understand and comprehend, they're able to now invest in the artist. Why am I paying X amount for a show? Because this artist has practiced this amount of hours. They have invested in their craft, buying instruments, building a studio in their homes. So I think support is important in terms of how do we create a sustainable creative industry. You're getting a lot of support from the EU and the cultural organizations, but it's like, yes, there are grants, there are a lot of grants, by the way, and a lot of opportunities for artists. Please tap into them. They are there for a reason. Please tap into them. They can help you do a lot of work. But it's like, how do we create something that's sustainable, that has the cyclical flow of revenue?
You don't necessarily have to wait for the grants and the help all the time.
How we also involving the public to come in and, also put their injection of investment into the cyclical industry. For me, and I think, I'm still figuring out what that means. This is also talking from Shamina's perspective over here. But I feel like support is necessary. These funds are there for us to tap into, guys. So don't be afraid to tap into them, whether small or big, or whether you're an individual or a collective or a company. They're there for us to collaborations are still key and will always be key. So I think it's a mix of all these things. But for me, I think it's sustainability. We need to get to that point of sustainability, especially here in Kenya.
Awesome. For somebody who wants to get into the space, young or in a different career, and they're thinking of getting into the tech space or music, what would be your advice to them?
I think just do it. I don't know how else to say it. Don't sit there and wait for someone to come push you out of your chair or your couch to do something. You need to get out there and do it. Find network. I would say network is important. Get out of your shell a little bit if you have one. Also, if you're out there being extroverted, well and good, please network. Your network is your net worth. I think just take a chance and do it. There's so many opportunities right now. And for young guys, you have nothing really to lose. Just take a chance, be committed, be serious, be professional. I think that's another thing that, in the tech, especially not in the tech space, because the tech space is already quite formal. But I think more on the music and the arts side, take it professionally, because if you don't see value in your work, other people won't see value. Create that value for yourself. So just go out and do it.
There are more women in the music space than there are in the tech space. Why do you think that is the case, and what do we need to be able to do to bring in more ladies
in the tech space?
In the tech space, especially.
I'm just now realizing that I'm a woman in the tech space. So there are quite a number of very dope, very creative tech techies, female techies, non-binary techies who are there out there. I think it's that thing of like, we are always, as women, sometimes, especially in the tech space, you know, you're not, it's not very usual for you to be standing up and knowing what you're saying. You know?
Why do you say so?
Because, you know, I think along the way I've really had to learn, the tech, and be confident enough to stand in a room and speak about the tech, have ideas, contribute without someone, you know, because in the beginning you get a lot of looks of like, okay, great, thanks, you know, and then turn and, you know, your male counterpart, you know, will say something and they're like, oh, yes.
What does that do to you?
It just makes me say, okay, I'm like, I see you, you know, next time you're going to have to listen to me. It's more, I think for me, just because of my personality, I'm like,
did you hear what
I just said that. Like I just said, you know, and also, you know, because again, you have to be professional, but it's also like, you know, how do you also communicate to your teammates that they should also have your back, you know, especially the male counterparts, because maybe saying it sometimes they're doing it subconsciously, you know. But it's like, I think for me, it's like, I just took that as like, okay, now I want to learn more. Now I want to know more. You know, I need to know the jargon, the language. I need to be able to, you know, if you're saying something, I know what you're saying. You know, I think it challenged me a bit more.
So learning never really does stop for anybody, right? Making yourself
in the tech
better.
space, yes, it doesn't stop. We are constantly learning. You know, sometimes things, you know, can come on the table and you have no idea how you're going to deliver it, but you're like, yes, we will deliver. You know. But I think I love that mentality, because you go in and you just now research, you learn, and now we create a product that we never knew we could create, you know. I always say, like, I'm a highly experimental person, you know, even with the space, I've just been experimenting, you know, like I will try to put this, even something simple like the setup will look like this on this side, and then see how people react, and then turn it the other way, or book certain, you know, have a flow of how I book my, you know, curate the curation of the month. Does that work? So it's like, you just try it out. It doesn't work, you know, switch. So I think that approach of also being experimental and like just
taking risks without,
because like no one is going to give you that chance, especially as females. Me, I'll just say, like, they would allow you to just, you know, be quiet, you know, on the side. But if you know, want to speak, I would encourage you to just speak up. And I think that's why we don't see more. I think they're there, but it's that thing of, you know, it's Kiswahili kunyenyekea, but like, you know, you try to step aside, or you don't have the confidence, you know. I don't know. That's just from my experience, because you know, I work with a lot of also female creators. I'm like, you need to be with the big boys, you know. So I think the music space is more welcoming, you know, it's more encouraging now. But let me tell you something. I have another baby of mine is Wanawake.
All right.
Wanawake is a collective, an all-female non-binary run collective, but we also work with female non-binary artists, creatives, music. I started with music with the Goethe Institute. I actually got the
that was you.
The project.
I saw something on
yes,
that. Nice.
Yes. Okay. So I actually got the project with the Goethe Institute, and we did last year. And we did, but it was centered around music events and meeting performers. And we had a mixer and like just understanding what female music players, you know, like music players, I mean, industry players, like the promoter, because I'm a promoter, the DJ, the set, the call, the person who does the call, the person who does lights, the person who does sound engineering. Just listening to what we go through, you know. It was also nice to have that commune of all of us, like, I don't think you should do that. Maybe the next time you do that, because as females, our situations are unique. They're not the same as
a man.
We have to negotiate differently. We have to, you know what I mean.
And unfortunately, it's across some of these creative sectors, I'd say, you know, from film.
From the animators, the 3D artists.
Yes. But there's hope for change. Things are...
Yeah. And I'm like, you know, also, I just say this, our work speaks for itself. You know, I always tell guys when they came for the shows, you know, did you enjoy the show?
Yes.
Not because it's an all-female. It's not because it's an all-female. Of course, it's an all-female lineup. But did you enjoy the show? Yeah, Shamina had so much. So you enjoyed the show. You know what I mean? I think it was also to show that we can do it. You know. But we can also compete with the best. You know what I mean?
What do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years from now?
5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your avatar will be...
Hopefully, I'll be traveling the world with my 3D avatar. No.
Yeah.
I see him taking, number one, I would see maybe traveling with the mist, and exploring other spaces and people who have the same ethos and ideologies that me and my business partner have.
Yeah.
Probably I've started a family, you know,
Yeah.
and continue my work in empowering young people that, I don't know, there's something about VR and AR, the immersive tech space, and how it's, I think also because through the work we're doing with Black Rhino, but like it's shown me that like you can actually take yourself to the next level, you know, and if I've been learned to be 6 years and continue and counting in this game, and I have the expertise now, I'm still going to want to use that in whichever way, in whichever capacity I'll be in. I don't know where God will have me in 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Parting shots.
Thanks, Anne.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope I brought something valuable today.
No.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, I'd actually said this is quite inspiring for somebody young who's going to be looking at Shamina and saying, you know what, Shamina is young. I'm wanting to get into this space. I can actually do it. And the reason why we're actually doing this is really to be able to tell your stories, you know, give you an opportunity where people can be able to celebrate you. Yeah, you know, as you empower and inspire the next generation.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to share. You know, people don't realize how much you learn from each other.
Very true.
You know, when you're just chilling and having conversation, you know, maybe ask someone about the story, or someone maybe you look up to, ask them about their story. It might not be like you follow their story back, you know, play by play, but I think it'll spark
There's something that you always speak.
It will spark something in you.
Very true. Yeah. Very true.
Thanks.
Maybe before we finish, I love that you've just mentioned the word spark.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
At what point in your life did something around music or tech spark in you that flared that flame around this career?
I think I'm sparked by different things.
Okay.
Like, I think I've always just had an interest in, you know, my friend's a music producer. I used to sit and watch him produce on the Logic, you know, and create beats. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to be like you.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that I would be specifically in music or specifically a creative technologist.
Yeah.
I just know I was going to find a way that I was going to release my creativity. You know, I think because we are taught that I have to go to uni and get the job.
Yes.
You still need to do that, but it's you don't know where you find out, and then where you find yourself, and you'll be like, oh my God, like I needed to be here, you know. And I think, you know, just working with, you know, with Black Rhino and now calling myself a creative technologist, I take so much pride in it. And having the Mist, you know, which is this underground space that can be for any type of artist.
Yes.
Whether you're a fashion designer, we've had runways, we've had exhibitions, we've had vendors coming to sell. So I'm able to reach everybody, all these creatives that I've been in awe of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just finding myself where I found myself is what sparked.
Awesome.
Maybe I'm just lucky, but I'm grateful.
You're grateful, yes.
I'm grateful. Yeah, I'm really grateful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's how, Shamina. Thank you so much.
Thanks.